What are your thoughts on 9/11? And I'm not gonna dive into the different conspiracies and all the. I'm just curious to know
Oh,
what
I
your
don't know about
thoughts are.
those. Yeah, either. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
I do know that I remember, I don't know where I was. I was talking to some Englishman. He said I was unusual to meet an educated American. That's what the English always say to Americans. Um, actually, every time I was in the Middle East, they would ask me if I were CIA, and I always said no. They were always indignant. Don't you want to know anything? They would ask. You should be CIA. I said, I'm not CIA. I was talking to this guy. He was an NCO from Special SAS, and his job was to look after the Bin Laden, the branch of the Bin Laden family that lived in New Jersey, but boogied down in Manhattan. And then there was another guy who dealt with the Bin Ladens in Boston, and the Bin Ladens were all over America, and they had a very intimate relationship with the Bush family, and they were protected after 9/11. I do know that the reason that I think, I'm pretty sure that bin Laden hated this country was not just his adopted Islamic faith, because he was one of the dissolute, young, rich Arab. He was not Saudi, he was Yemeni, who boogied down in the discotheques of Europe. Um, these guys always become very religious once their parts fall apart and Viagra doesn't work for them anymore. And his father was a financial wizard. And when the uh, American dollar basically shrunk in its international trade weighted value to a quarter of what it was, um, it put the Saudi and the other oil monarchies into financial crisis. And eventually it led to their doing the oil embargo and surging oil prices. Now, politically, they conveniently used the Arab-Israeli War of 1973 as the reason, but really they increased the prices by 4 or 5 fold to offset the collapse in the trade-weighted value of the dollar. That's because when the British created these monarchies, they owed us a lot of money